All right, D&D enthusiasts, imagine yourself in this situation as a player. The party had just defeated a group of lizard folk, saving some town guards on patrol, and as a result, they were given a letter of recommendation, an introduction to the city of Northgate, which is about a day's travel north on this road leading into the mountains. When they arrive at the city, of course, looking for adventure, introducing themselves to the guards at the main gate with this letter, seeking a reward, they found the opportunity for more work. Outside of the city, in one of the graveyards and burial pits, there's been some disturbances, sightings of shadows, various noises heard at night. And the city guard, of course, looking to maintain order and send out patrols and keep commerce going in the city, is a little bit short on manpower for something that could be nothing, something that's unconfirmed, but a possibility. So the guards want to hire the players to just go tonight, tomorrow night, and investigate the cemetery, find out what's going on, if there are any leads to these rumors, or if just they're shadows and moonlight and starlight reflecting. The reward. Now, I should say before we get to the reward part, first level. The players are first level PCs. They're each about maybe 50 or 60 experience points away from second level. I say that to frame the adventure. The guards are going to pay them 15 gold pieces each to do this. Now, 15 gold pieces, is that a lot of gold? I mean, in core D&D or old school D&D, 15 gold is crazy. Where if you found a sack of 5,000 silver pieces, not only did you have to figure out how you're going to get it out of the dungeon, but that was a princely sum of money. Over the years, you want to talk about inflation. Let's talk about gold piece inflation. We're at the point in most games, I won't say all games, but most games where there's not even a parity 1-to-1, like one gold piece is worth $1. Players seem to expect, okay, you want to go to this graveyard and just check things out. We're not even saying it's a ghoul pack there looking to do something crazy by a mad alchemist. We're not even saying that. We're not even saying it's a bunch of thralls under a fledgling vampire lord looking to establish themselves in the city, or the old faithful standby cultists going on. We're not saying any of that. It's just like, look, to investigate, it seems like players are like, I want 500 gold. 500 gold just for showing up. Like, well, yes, no. So this idea of gold piece inflation and how it impacts Dungeons and Dragons, and that depending on how you play as a DM, copper, silver, gold. Then, if we want to go real old school, platinum, electrum. Now, in my games, most games, I try not to focus on the bookkeeping aspects. I mean, this is D&D, so we're already suspending disbelief a little bit here. Going into that, I assume as a player, the role-playing narrative, you've got some copper pieces, you've got some silver pieces. Based on where you are, you've got some pocket money. So when you go into the inn to get some information and you order a drink or you buy a meal or you rent a room for a night, I'm not going to say scratch off 2 silver, scratch off 15 copper. When you toss a copper piece at someone for some information, well, maybe a silver piece or gold piece I will. Silver piece, I assume you have that for those transactions. The core monetary unit that I utilize is gold pieces. That's where we start to deduct. That's what you keep track. I never really get into platinum or electrum. Although I understand for the old school, last century, literally, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons economy, these weight got so crazy at the higher levels to have portable wealth. This is even beyond just gems and jewelry as portable wealth. You had to get into platinum and electrum just to possibly keep up. And some of the costs of things to try and transport payment in gold would have been too risky or crazy. But even electrum got a little bit out of hand in some of the later levels. But it seems now gold is king. And from that perspective, most of the players that I play with, the core group or even just games that I host at conventions and things like that, or pickup games, the reward is like, I'm not doing anything unless it's 500 gold. And you're like, well, you're level like 2 or 3. what happened to 10 or 15 gold? I mean, in the D&D economy, 10 gold is a reasonable sum of money. Yes or no? So some would say that I tend to be on the lower side of gold, but I'm aware of it, and there's a lot of opportunities to earn gold. And one of the things that I covered and pushed up to the channel here, alternate treasure types. This idea that over the course of an adventure, yes, the rewards are going to come in three ways. Cash payments, gold, either by the person or group hiring you, what you recover from a treasure hoard. Then there's going to be magic items, magic objects, wondrous items. Then there's going to be kind of this middle group, gems and jewelry, flasks of rare wine, paintings, furniture, stuff that has a gold piece attachment to it. One, you got to transport it. Two, you got to sell it. Three, you better have a rogue or a bard, maybe a sorcerer that has the charisma to kind of negotiate a good price. And as the DM and being a salesman in life, I'm gonna try and, you want to sell that wine? We're going to do it. We're going to do it real time. Sell me on it. I'm going to try and get the best price that I can. So from that perspective, there is a level of wealth, of treasure that's handed out in that mid-band that players are going to transform into gold. So if it's like a rare rug that's worth 100 gold pieces, are you going to get 50 gold, 40 gold, 60 gold? It depends on where you're selling it, who you're selling it to, how you can negotiate. And I will say on a side note, I know players experience D&D in different ways, and I want you to experience D&D how you want to play and what you want to bring to the table. So in a situation like this where the players are going to be selling an object, I always offer two ways. Now, first I say, what do you want to find? Where do you want to go? When we arrive at that, and it's the actual moment, the sit down for the sales, I give them two options. First option, but you own it. Roll a D20. Make a DC check for the price that you want. Maybe you get advantage if something's going on. Maybe you add modifiers to it. Straight up, D20, make it happen. You don't get another roll. So we're not going to sit here and like roll and just what's the price? Here we go. Depending on how you fail the DC or pass it, it might go up a little bit more. It might go down a little bit more. The other option, if you're feeling so inclined, is to role play it out real time. Show me the rug. Let's talk about it. Let's debate back and forth. No dice. How do you want to press your luck or take your luck? But turning it back to the D&D economy, this idea that gold pieces seem to be, well, first of all, absolutely everywhere, completely inflated, and the expectation, I'm not saying good or bad, but it's interesting to see how it's tracked and mapped. I won't say real time, real world, more like, I would say MMO and video games. It's like we're playing Diablo. I'm running around with like 10 million in gold, and it's like, there's no good gear I can buy with it. Why am I even carrying it? I guess to just buy more healing pots, but I've already got like 500 stacked. So I think there's been that bleed in where players just expect massive amounts of gold. How do you handle it as a DM? And how do you expect it as a player?